Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another live edition of Mic'd Up Sports. If you are watching us live on Facebook, thanks for joining us. And if you are following us through our channels on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else you listen to podcasts, if you're listening to this on demand, we're glad you can join us there as well. We have a familiar guest. She's been on our program a few times, but we brought her back because she is bringing back the Triple Threat Basketball Showcase. It's a girls basketball showcase event that features sixth graders, 7th, 8th, 9th, all the way up to the senior class. It will be held May 29th at Cretin-Derham Hall High School in St. Paul. Crystal, thanks for coming back on. And I know this was an event you and I talked about last year, but the pandemic changed those plans, or I should say just postponed them for a year, because we are having a triple threat showcase. So how excited are you to get this event rolling again after having to sit out last year?
I am. I'm very excited. Anytime you can give, some young ladies an opportunity to do what they love to do, which is playing basketball, and allowing them to play in front of friends and family in the community. It's a great time. So I'm really, really excited that we're able to do it this year. As you said, COVID last year hit, and we had a bunch of young ladies registered to play, and the pandemic hit, and it's really unfortunate that those seniors won't be able to play from last year. Because they're in college now, but I'm really, really excited that I'm able to allow those 8th graders from last year to be able to play, because it's typically just 6th through 8th grade for the middle school showcase, or Rising Stars part of it. So it's my event. I make the call, so I'm allowing those 9th graders to come back and play this year.
That's the beauty of hosting your own event. You get to make the rules and break them.
I wouldn't say break, just able to make it happen, able to make it happen.
And I'm having a little fun with that, of course. Obviously,
Absolutely.
It didn't, right. I'm not implying that you break rules.
Right.
You're not that individual. So we have had several events, past and present, in girls basketball. We recently had the Coaches Association All-Star Series. That has been going on for over a decade, where they take 40 members of the senior class. Before your event, there was the Intercity All-Star Classic that was held for 20 years. But as you alluded to, the difference between those events and yours is the Rising Stars portion of it. Every other All-Star game I've been a part of highlights the seniors, and understandably so. It's their send-off, and it's a way for them to have a little fun before they move on to college or wherever they end up in life. But you decided to add these support games for the 6th, 7th, 8th, and this year 9th graders. So when you got the idea to host a showcase event, what led you to add the Rising Stars portion in addition to the senior class game?
Yeah, great question. I started this about 4 years ago, after the Inner City All-Star Classic. Decided to take a break or stop doing it, whatever those reasonings were, to not continue to do it. So I picked up the mantle, and I said, well, I'll continue to do this. I have a good relationship with a lot of the young ladies that are in high school. So I decided to have it be girls only, because as you know, the Inner City Classic was boys and girls. And so, Triple Threat is founded on being for girls by women. And so I said, well, I'll do that. The halftime, I was like, okay, I want to make an event of it. So I had like halftime performances and things of that sort. So I invited the young ladies at the time, who are now going to be seniors next year. A lot of the girls from Como Park High School, did the halftime game. So I did a little, a little exhibition game for those middle schoolers with, they were called Balling Pretty at that time. And they played, and the fans just really loved it. They were at the time, they probably were 7th or 8th graders, I want to say. Well, they were 7th graders at the time because they're juniors right now. And after the game, they said, "Hey, Coach Crystal, we want to play in this." And so I was like, that's a good idea. So the very next year, I did 6th, 7th, 8th graders, and it was a success. A lot of the girls that you actually see playing high school basketball right now, for teams like De La Salle and Hopkins and what other school? Some of them are at Maranatha, and some play in Farmington now. Are Came from that group of first girls to play the middle school showcase. So it was a hit. And so I said, hey, if I come from the vein, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So we continue to do the middle school Rising Stars showcase.
And I think it's fitting because how many of them take up AAU as well. And it's another way for those who maybe don't hit up the AAU circuit or have their own kids to follow to check out some of the players we'll be hearing about. I joked about all the names that I'm going to be hearing of when I covered the prelims at Forest Lake, because it was my first assignment in over a year since the quarantine life became a thing. But I think it's really cool to have that because all of these kids that are playing, they'll end up on the varsity teams at some point. Some of them might start. You mentioned the Como Park girls team. That was one of many things I hated missing out on, but that group will be back for one last run. I've got a feeling we'll see a few of those kids, if not all of them, at next year's Triple Threat. So I think it's a really cool idea that you have the senior class send off like the other events, but you also offer a preview of what's to come.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I like to say, even with my Triple Threat girls basketball camps that I do, I like to say I see them first. So a lot of these girls, I don't want to start naming names because they literally are playing all throughout, any of the high school teams that have some of the younger players, a 7th grader or maybe an 8th grader playing, or even a freshman that is playing on varsity level, have come through the camps and have played in the Triple Threat showcase as well as my camp. So it's really, really nice to see the growth of the kids. I should stop saying kids, of the players that have came to our event.
Now, you're no stranger to organizing events, whether it was your Triple Threat camp or other engagements you've been a part of. You've been around for a little while to create these community events and engagements for people to have something positive to think about. But I'm curious, Crystal, what have you learned in the years of being the organizer for the Triple Threat Showcase and putting together an all-star type event of your own?
I've just learned that, you want to be professional at all times. You want to have great officials. Your officials at the event also can make or break your event. You want to make sure that it is timely. You want to be on time. You also want to give the people what you promoted. So if you promote it, your event in a certain way, you want to make sure that it's run that way, that they get what they pay for, right? So I also, like to make it be affordable for the community. You don't want to nickel and dime people. You want your concessions to be affordable. You want, the service to be top notch. And that's something that I like to pride myself on, that, people aren't going to be, ignorant at the event, that if the event is supposed to start at a certain time, that it's played at a certain time. You want to make sure that, everyone it's a fun and it's a safe atmosphere, because, I've been to some places that it's not very safe either, so you want to make sure that you are giving the people what they want. And most people want to come and they want to have a good time. They want to have a good time. I can't guarantee, who's going to win and things of that sort. But my events, I like to say are professional, that they're timely, that it's a safe space, and that the kids are having fun, and I like to bring an element of entertainment as well, which is something that I do even in high school. I like to have actual singers do the national anthem. That's one of the things that I really did at North High School as well. Minneapolis North, we had the spotlight and things of that sort. So I like to just, I like to have a good time, and I give people a little bit of what I would want to see if I was going to watch my child play.
On the part about who might win, I always say with these events, the points don't matter. Yes, your team wants to win, but it's more a celebration.
Absolutely.
The score is just an arbitrary part of it.
But, yeah. I would like to add that, one of the other things that I like to do, and from going to other tournaments or other showcases, is that, a lot of players get comfortable and they want to go and they want to play with their buddies. And the thing that I do with this showcase is, teammates are invited, obviously, but I like to split them up so that you can learn how to play against your best friend and not always with your friend, and with other people from other communities, because a lot of times these girls are on the same teams and they get to know each other. But when you go outstate, or when you go and you play at high school or you go to college, you're going to be playing with people that come from all over, all different walks of life. And as soon as they can get out of their comfort zone, and learn a little bit more about yourself and learn how to adapt and adjust to different things, that's another element that I like to bring with Triple Threat, because a lot of, especially girls, I shouldn't say only girls, because boys do it too. They want to, create that safe environment in terms of being with your buddy. And it's not always like that. You gotta know how to play when you're not getting the ball, or when someone isn't as familiar with your game. So that's one of the things that I really like to be intentional with this showcase, is that you're not going to play with your best friend. I want you to guard your best friend this time. So that's a fun twist to it all.
And it leads me to think of how fun it would be next year, if you host this, to have the Como Park girls, for example, have them go. I think they're all in the same group, so you'd have to do 2-on-2 or something. But we've always joked about, and I had Adalia McKenzie, Jade Hill on, and we joked about what might happen if the two got to play against each other in high school. That didn't happen. So it's an all-star setting, but it's also fun because, like you said, when you have teams that have multiple athletes, Hopkins comes to mind too. Well, what would it be like, And then the kids get to have a little fun smack talk, if you know what I'm saying. So it answers all these questions, because as you're playing, and I think a lot of them wonder, how would I do against my teammate? And here's their opportunity.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think they get to learn a little bit about themselves, something that they may not have realized that they possess within themselves. So I think it's a good thing. And I think sometimes, players learn that a little too late in their careers. to know how to adjust to it. And it can, sometimes it can make or break you. You're not always with that high caliber athlete all the time. And what else are you made of? So I like that. I like bringing that out.
I'll keep that in mind, May 29th. I'll put that in my notes for the event. On that subject, though, Crystal, I checked out your website. So you have an application form for parents or players who are interested. But what goes into the roster selection when you get the list of athletes who want to take part in your event, whether it's the 6th grade showcase, 7th, 8th, or the senior class? How do you determine who gets in the field, and what do you try to get out of the teams you organize?
Mm-hmm. Well, balance is one thing that I like to have, but I have a committee of people that, I shouldn't say a committee because we don't meet and stuff like that. It's just a nomination process. And I ask coaches, and I intentionally, if you notice, it does not say all-star anywhere. It's a showcase. But obviously I know some of the talent that's around that's around the city and that's in the state. But I talk to various coaches from different programs, and I tell them, you don't always have to nominate the very best player that you have on your team. You can nominate a young lady that maybe doesn't get as much time on your team, and this is an opportunity for that young lady to come and play against, a different kind of competition. So it's a little bit of all that, because I don't want to get into people saying, well, why isn't this person there? And why isn't that person there? Because it's a showcase. It's not an all-star game. And I want to make sure that that's clear. It's not necessarily the best of the best, but the competition is really, really good. So I do tell them it's not for beginners, because again, you want it to be fun for all, and no one wants to be out there and no one's passing them the ball, or they're just standing looking, because you're gonna have to go and get yours too. So there's a little ball hogging going on, and there's a little, oh, I know her, so I'll pass it to her and I won't pass it to her. But it's also we'll substitute, as long as we have 10 girls on each side, it's equal playing time, so it's not going to be, where, kids are on this team and they're not getting in the game, so I do want to have balance. So I do ask for their, height and their primary position. And then some of them, I know them personally as well, like really know them. And I okay, I want to make sure that these two are not on the same team. And I try to balance it. And for the most part, the scores have been, pretty balanced. It hasn't been a lot of blowouts throughout the years. So that's pretty cool too.
And going off of that, what is the selection process for the coaches? Since you have 4 games, that means you need 4 sets of coaches to navigate things. Of course, like you said, the substitutions are set up so that everyone gets the same amount of time roughly, so you don't have to worry about subbing in, subbing out in that sense. But these are, I look at it as another opportunity to give them a spotlight too, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. So, when I go out and I'm watching my players play, or just going to watch some youth basketball, I look and see who the coaches are. And I've been really impressed with a lot of girls that have gone on to college, have played, and are coming back and are giving back. So I look and see those coaches. I invite them as long as they're in town. I also allow high school players to coach. So that typically 9th, 10th, and 11th graders are not playing in this, but I have asked 11th graders in the past to come and be coaches in the event, which are girls as well. So I do handpick those, you know, those coaches, because I want not only, you know, people who know how to coach, and you're not really coaching, you're really just kind of encouraging them. You're not, well, some of them do, they get real competitive and they draw up plays and stuff like that, but it's also an opportunity to try and you know, introduce players into the coaching field, you know. So it's a little twofold in regards to that. And some of them are like, man, that was a lot of fun, you know. I may consider coaching somewhere down the line. So I invite current coaches, current high school coaches, assistant coaches. I invite also players, so, or girls that are home from college as well.
And I think that's really cool, Crystal, because over the years when I've covered high school games, coaches and the players themselves tell me about taking up that role for youth programs, things like that. One of my best friends, her daughter took up coaching this year because she couldn't play at her community college.
Mm-hmm.
And she spoke volumes of how influential and how much she learned from that experience. And I think it adds a little something extra too, because like you said, you normally don't have a 9th, 10th, 11th grade game, but who knows, maybe you do add one. But for the time being, it gives those kids who want to get into coaching or get that experience, it gives them an early opportunity to do so.
Yeah. And as much as I can, I want to get as many young ladies involved, you know, in all assets. So aspects. So my officials are women, the scores table are women, the DJ in the past has been a woman, scorekeepers, um, uh, people that are working at the door. So as much as I can get them involved, there are also some young ladies that are injured, that would normally play, that I'm asking them to coach this year. So I just want to give women, girls an opportunity to see themselves, you know, because you can't be what you don't see. And anytime these young ladies can see a woman officiating and say, wow, you know, we do that too. So that's a fun twist. Um, and Mike, you've been to enough events, showcases, camps, and it's all men. You know, it's a lot. The coaches are men, the officials are men, and you know, it's for girls, and it's like, you know, you couldn't find any young ladies to coach some of these teams, or to come in and be the trainers, or the or the skill directors and things of that sort. So this is an opportunity. It's my event, it's my showcase, and again, I make the rules. So wherever I can find women, I get women. If you see a man like yourself, you're going to be doing the filming of it, which I really appreciate it. But you'll have a woman, right? Or you'll try and get a woman, but I can't do it in every single aspect, but where I can, I do have women and girls.
I've talked to a couple folks of mine. Hopefully that will work out. But the way I see it, this is for the kids and everyone at the event. And whatever my broadcast crew looks like, I will make it work, because I know the people aren't watching necessarily to hear my voice. They want to see what these kids have to offer. And it will be kind of my crash course, because I didn't get to see a lot of these kids in person this year. So you're right, Crystal. I'm hoping I can get
a pass, Mike. You get a pass because, you know, you're someone that I know that you are sincerely invested in the growth of the game for girls and women's basketball and women's sports in general. You know, it blew me away that I saw you doing a soccer girls game in high school before, and you do softball, you know, so you're truly one of a select few that really get it when it comes to girls and women's sports. And for that, I want to say I appreciate, you know, all that you do and consistently do for the game. So I appreciate that.
Well, thanks. I wasn't setting this up to plug myself, but I appreciate that. And to go off what you were saying, if it's a sport, I'm there. It doesn't matter who's playing, because I know someone's parent is going to be watching, or the athletes themselves. And you're right. I get a lot of fun out of it. I think that soccer game you were talking about, you and I could go on a whole nother discussion about this, but that allowed me to see Paige Peltier before she went to Notre Dame. She was one of the top soccer prospects out of Minnesota. And as a fan of sports, even though basketball is my strongest, in my head, I'm going, I got to check out this kid, or I want to see what this kid's all about. I got a few more after that AAU event. So if you need any last minute guidance for your 9th grade game, I met at least one athlete who would fit the bill. She was impressive, but
absolutely. And you know, it's you know, there actually be, you know, quite a few girls that are unable to attend because they're playing, you know, outstate, or their AAU team or their travel team has a game that weekend. And you know, but I just really feel there's plenty of talent. There's plenty of talent, and there's enough room to go around. So by all means, you know, let me know who she is if she isn't already signed up to come over and participate. So the more the merrier. And there's still spots in all of the games, actually.
Well, I will inform you after we're done taping, because I don't want to create any speculation. You know what I'm saying? Like, sure. I don't want to create gossip and like, why didn't you play or something? But
but anyone that would like to play, yes, there's a nomination process. Yes, you know, it's an invite from me, but contact me. My email is cflint@cdh.edu. I'm sorry, cflint. My bad. That's not it. It's cflint@c-dh.org or crystalflint22@hotmail.com. But I do want to say, do not just show up. That's not going to work. You do need to be officially registered through the Google form that's out there. So I don't want anyone to just show up. You will be turned away. Again, you know, we keep it professional, and there is a process to play in the game.
When you said .edu, and I knew what you meant, but I'm going, is that Crystal's Minnesota days coming back there?
Yeah, that was my U of M email. Yeah, I haven't been EDU in a while.
So Crystal, I'm curious, you've had this event for a few years now. Mm-hmm. What is the most challenging aspect of creating a showcase event, and what have you enjoyed most about hosting your own events and getting an opportunity to see the next generation of athletes and give the senior class the send-off that they might have been looking forward to with the Intercity All-Star Classic, for example? Or like you said, it's not an all-star event by name, because with the All-Star Series, they only allowed at most 2 athletes per team, but there are plenty that don't make the cut in that group of 40. So either way you look at it, it gives them that chance to experience what it's like when the spotlight is on you. So what do you enjoy most about it? And what has been the most challenging aspect of organizing not only one game, but 4 games?
Yeah. The thing that I enjoy the most about it is just to see the level, the sense of community, and the sheer appreciation that everyone, you know, really has. It's just like, you know, the spectators, the fans that come, they're all excited about it. The players, in particular the seniors, they feel really validated. You know, some of them may not have had the seasons or the careers that they've wanted in the past, and they just really um, um, feel like they've achieved something. You know, I think that validation piece is important, that, you know, hey, I was chosen for this event, and I just, you know, just to see other people smiling, having a good time. I'm out there, I'm loose, and I'm having fun. I really love the fact that I don't have to officiate, and I pray that I don't have to officiate, you know, because I want to sit back and I want to watch, and I want to just, you know, just let it run. And so that's the enjoyment that I have. Some of the challenges are, in the past, it was finding a venue. That's like, once you, that's like the most work that you actually have to do. There's a lot of people that want to help, which is really cool. And if I can just give a couple of shout outs to my a few of our sponsors that we have. The very first sponsor this year was the Anika Foundation, who was really instrumental in helping out, as well as Rashad Vaughn, who is in his third year of sponsoring. And Rashad, you know, he doesn't have a daughter in the program, doesn't have a sister in the program, but I saw him working out a few years ago. He was working out with my son, and they share the same trainer. And I told him about the event, and ever since then, he was like, whenever you have it, call me, I got you. You know, and so that is really allowing, um, has made it less challenging for me to be able to fund such an event, you know, because I don't have any huge sponsors in terms of, you know, large organizations and stuff like that. Another sponsor just recently contacted me, which is with Country Financial. Rodney Davis was like, hey, you know, I want to help, you know, whatever you're doing. He thought I had a team. And I was like, well, I don't have a team in the summer, but I do have this event. And he said, put me down. And one of his co-workers, Lexi, I don't have her last name right now. I need to find it real quick. But before we end, I'm going to get her last name. But she agreed to help sponsor as well. And I was just like, wow, some of my past sponsors have been really instrumental in getting it going. Johnny Howard, John Howell as well. I think I'm saying his name wrong, but I'm going to find my phone and I'm going to give those shout outs, because I think sponsorship is really important. And I think that has been perhaps the most challenging to get the funding for it, you know, because, you know, especially, you know, with COVID being out there, I did make Triple Threat an LLC, which is just really helped in the whole process as well. So I want to just make sure that this is something that can be self-sustaining. So sponsorship is a big part of it, because while I want the players to have some buy-in, you know, things cost. From my shirt that I have on here, let me stand up so you can see Triple Threat. You know, I like to give parting gifts. Renee Pulley with Howard Pulley is another one that donates bags to the girls every year. So I just really appreciate how the community comes together and just, however they can. I said Johnny Howell, and I apologize. It's Robert Howell. Robert has been a sponsor every single year, or just, just consistently help spread the word. So getting that venue is huge. I'm here at Cretin-Derham Hall now, and that has, really lessened the load of that. But being able to find a space to host it. After you do that, it's just about really getting the players, and once you get that number, once you get it rolling and people are nominating girls, it really kind of takes care of itself in that regard. Good words, good news travels fast.
It certainly does. And if you don't mind, Crystal, you may have watched some of my other podcasts, and I've often joked that you're from the Twin Cities if you know Crystal Flint because of all the work that you do in the community, not just as a coach, but with the showcase and all the other activities. So I think you are a well-known figure. So when people hear, hey, you're doing this event, it didn't surprise me that several contacts you've established over the years called you up and said, I'm there. What do you need?
Absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate that, Mike. One of the things that I try to pride myself in is, just really to be, an upright person, be honest about what you're doing, and be sincere. I don't have any no hidden agenda. This isn't about players, coming to play for me, because in fact, a lot of these players, hardly any of them are actually on my team, and that's okay with me, because I'm there to support girls, period. I don't care where they go. Some people, I'm sitting in the stands and they're like, well, who are you? Which one's your daughter? I was like, I don't even have daughters. I'm just out here supporting them all. And whenever I can see them play, and see how their game has grown from when they were, 8, 9, 10 years old, coming through the triple threat girls basketball camp. It's just, I feel like, I helped them get going with that, and they've continued to hone those skills, or, help lay the foundation, because that's really what triple threat camp is about. It's about helping to lay that foundation. I know that these girls aren't going to come to every single year that I have it. And whenever they stop attending, I know that, okay, they've moved on to something else, and that's great. So I feel like it's a win-win. I'm not one of those coaches that say, hey, you come and do this, you come play for me, I'm going to do this for you. That's not what triple threat girls basketball is all about. So I really am committed to seeing the young ladies be the very best that they can be on and off the court.
There are a couple of things I wanted to address before we have to end this taping, Crystal. So the event is scheduled for May 29th, starting at 10, a quartet of games, as we've noted. 10, 12, 2, and 4, if I'm correct, is the time frame. The date happens to coincide with the ending of capacity and distancing restrictions, as I understand it. Now, I don't know how it works for each venue, but what can we expect for those who are interested in attending this event on May 29th? We know we're going to get some quality basketball talent, whether they're the stars on their team or maybe the last kid on the bench that has put in a lot of effort to be there. So we know the games are going to offer a high quality product, but for anyone interested in attending on May 29th, what can they look forward to?
Well, the event is going to be, so I'm glad you said that, because I'm still in the process. I knew that we would have fans, and I know that some things are changing, so that's still being yet to be determined in terms of, wearing a mask and social distancing and things of that sort. So I'm actually going to be meeting with our school, because as venues can have their own, they can have their own requirements in terms of what the expectation is. So I will be sending that information out, and I will let the participants know and get the word out regarding that. But we will not have concessions. I do know that that we won't be handling that unless some things change, because we're still in a pandemic, right? And we still want to be safe. So I'll just say that it's still to be determined. We will have fans, I do know that. In terms of how many, if it's 2, if it's, until we get to a certain capacity, that's yet to be determined. But we'll let everyone know. I think between you, social media, myself, the players, will get the word out, and people will know what to expect. But as for me and myself, I will still have my mask on, although I'm fully vaccinated. So I am happy to say that. But this is ever changing, and it can be one way right now, and in another week it can be different. So at the end of the day, we want to be safe. We want to be safe.
And we are trending in the right direction. But as you said, I'm fully vaccinated. But if a mask is still required, then I will wear it, like I had to for AAU. My ears hurt after covering 8 games in a day. But again, if that's what is required for me to cover it, then yeah, I will follow the rules, because it's out of respect to the venues and the people, as we are again trying to remain safe while we slowly work our way back to normal here. But I do think it's exciting that there will be fans in some capacity. How many, we'll find out, but I think it will be exciting because at least the parents will be able to watch their kids, and who knows, if more can come in, then maybe some of their friends will check this out too.
Yes, because when I initially set the dates, I made sure that there was a good hour to 45 minutes in between each game. So if you notice, it goes 10 to 11. Of course, the game will probably go a little bit longer than that. And I had that time in the event that we have to, ask people to leave and re-enter. So all that is still to be determined. And if people can stay, they can stay. If we have a spectator limit, then obviously we will enforce that.
So stay tuned for more information as we get closer, because again, it coincides with the lifting of restrictions. But as Crystal was noting earlier, the venues do have discretion on what limits they can enforce. You also mentioned that there are still spots available for athletes who wish to participate, and I'm not smart enough to weasel out who the field is yet, because like you said, things could change. Something might happen between now and then. An athlete might get sick, or maybe something else comes up. So I wouldn't want to put that kind of pressure on you. But among the athletes who have expressed interest, what can you offer us? We know they take it seriously. They've developed a lot of talent, but what excites you about the athletes who will get to take part in this year's Triple Threat Showcase?
Well, I'm excited that there are going to be quite a few athletes from the city that most people probably are not familiar with, but are very capable athletes. They're athletes from the St. Paul City Conference, Minneapolis City Conference, from private schools, and Brooklyn Park area. I am excited that we have a nice balance of students. So we have some Division I athletes, we have some Division II, we have some junior college athletes, and we have quite a few unsigned athletes. And what we haven't discussed yet is one of the things that I added 2 years ago, and I had a real good list of college coaches that were going to come up and watch last year. That was something that I added last 2 years ago to invite college coaches, because I wanted to give an opportunity for players that want to play at the next level that perhaps have not been recruited, and some of them that have, but have not signed yet. So I'm excited that there is quite a few young ladies that are not signed, and there are quite a few colleges that are going to be coming up. I know the coach, Brad Vaught from NIAC, is going to be coming over. Augsburg is going to be coming over and checking out some games. I've sent information to Mankato State. I've sent information to Concordia University, Moorhead. There's some junior colleges as well. I know Anoka Ramsey coach was going to come last year, and they're still looking at their schedules. So there are a lot of coaches that are also going to come. Now, obviously, Division I coaches are not able to come and be in attendance, but junior colleges can, Division II coaches can, and Division III coaches can. And while I'm not by any means saying that if you play in this, that you're going to walk away with a scholarship, but I am saying that you may be able to display your talents well enough for a coach to reach out to you, which is why I'm also excited that for the second year, I know that you agreed to do it last year, and I'm really happy that you reached out. You reached out to me again and said, "Hey, you know, I can stream this for you. I'll be willing to do the commentating for it," which just adds, again, another level of professionalism to our event. So I appreciate that. And with that being said, that can be seen by coaches that can perhaps not be in attendance.
That's why I do it, so that people who can't be there or those who want to check it out can access it. And I love being a part of the Intercity All-Star Classic, and I enjoyed the Coaches Association All-Star Series. You know, that relationship ended, unfortunately, but you do your best to move forward, and that's what I'm doing. So when things worked out, that was why I reached out to you, because, hey, I love these all-star events. Maybe they don't get the same level of viewership as a Hopkins game, but it's nice to cover a game where you don't have to worry about what this win means in the section, what this win means for state. It's just about having fun and getting an opportunity to share your story if you haven't otherwise done so. I know you've got a few minutes left, Crystal. So yep. For those who want to check out this event or still have questions, you listed your emails earlier, but I also believe you have a website for people who want to apply for a potential nomination or to check out the event. So for those who want to learn more, where can they go?
They can go actually to my Facebook page. I'm going to be sharing it. I don't want to put the actual registration form out there for, you know, everybody, because I don't want people to start registering and it's full. You know what I mean? So I'll put the flyer out there, and people can contact me from my email and things of that sort. However, once they've contacted me, then that's when I send the form out. I know I posted the form a few days ago on my Facebook page, and that's still up, and I'll keep it up there until it fills up. But I don't want, you know, there to be an abundance of people registering and they're not able to play, if that makes sense. So, but they can definitely contact me. My page is public, so anyone that wants to reach out and see if there's still space available, they can certainly contact me.
So Facebook or email is the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah. The flyers on Instagram, I think I'll put it out there. And it's actually not a website. It's just a Google form. My triple threat website is still in the process of actually being loaded. I had it on in my lane with Crystal Flint, which was my blog. And I did that because, you know, the pandemic hit and I didn't, you know, there really wasn't space to have my official website for triple threat, but that's in the process of being finalized. So they will be able to go there and look at testimonies and things of that sort. But for right now, it's just a form that they can fill out, or they can email me, inbox me, and we can correspond from there. I will say that I'm in the process. So once they're registered, they're sending me photos, and I will start actually this weekend leading up to the event, just rolling out those that are officially registered, sent their picture in, and then you can start to really see who's going to be attending. So it's not finalized. I can send you something so you can have an idea, and I send colleges some things because they want to know, well, who's going to be there if I'm going to be coming. So that is starting to be rolled out and sent out so that everyone has an idea of who's going to be in the building. So get your registrations in and get your pictures in.
Well, I look forward to future correspondence between us, Crystal, and I can't wait to see who's in this field. May 29th, starting at 10 a.m. You can also check out this field whenever it's finalized at Cretin-Derham Hall High School. Crystal Flint, thanks again for coming on and giving us a preview of the 2021 Triple Threat Showcase. And I can't wait to play a part in sharing all of these stories.
Thank you for all you do, Mike. I appreciate you. This was about a couple of weeks in the making to really finalize this website. I mean, this interview, but I appreciate it. I'm tired, man. I'm tired, but I thank you for all you do. Let me show get a little advertisement again. Ladies, let's get it. I want to just, if you don't mind, I know we got a little bit of time still. I do want to send some shout outs to some people that have been really instrumental in helping me do some things. I want to thank Nafisa Muhammad, who designed this logo for me and has been really helpful with doing some behind the scenes work for Triple Threat. And I talked about our sponsors. Oh, and I was supposed to get that other name.
Lexi.
Give me a minute. I'm sorry.
The big reveal, folks. Who is Lexi?
The big reveal. Let's talk about something else while I'm looking this up. And I should know this off the top of my head, but hey, it is what it is, right?
Well, if you don't mind, I will add for anyone listening to this or watching this that I do intend to offer digital copies to parents or anyone else interested in getting one from the broadcast. So if you'd like to obtain one, I know I sent you a form, Crystal, but if you want to speak with me directly to anyone out there listening, you can contact me on social media at the Mike Peden, Twitter or Instagram. I'm on Facebook, and also by email at tsbtelevision@gmail.com, because I like to preserve these memories, and we will have coverage of all 4 games. So if you think we're just showing up for the seniors, no, we want to give the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders a platform, because these are going to be the names we hear about. I know you and I joked about maybe seeing the next Addie Mack, and maybe the next Addie Mack will be in that field, or maybe Addie herself because she finished up her 8th grade season. But it's all about having fun and giving these kids that grow up watching my games or other games, now they get to experience it.
Yes, it's funny you say that, because Addie Mack 2 years ago was the first time that I saw her, and she played in the Triple Threat showcase, the inaugural one, and everybody walked away like, who was that kid? And she was just phenomenal. So it doesn't surprise me to see someone like herself playing at Maranatha High School, you know, like
Minnehaha.
Minnehaha High School, just leading the way. And See, now you name one name. Now we got to start naming other names, right? But there's been countless young ladies that have started out over here and are doing exceptionally well. I talk about the team at De La Salle, but one of the programs that have been really instrumental in making sure that their players are involved in this event is the city girls basketball program, which a lot of them are over playing at De La Salle High School with Anisha Scott and London Harris and some other young ladies that are over there just really doing an excellent job. The Minnesota Stars has had a lot of girls come over and play, as well as Metro Stars have had some girls come over and play. And I'm just really appreciative of 43 Hoops. I was just talking to Coach Demandi on yesterday, and Coach Liv Antilla is going to be over coaching, and they're going to, make sure that some of their girls get signed up. And so I'm just really, thankful and grateful for programs that have really supported what I'm doing, and there's no animosity with it, because I also know some programs that say, they tell their players don't go play for anything else. And, that's not how I roll in particular, but I appreciate those programs and those coaches that are confident in what they do, that they'll allow their players to come over and play in my event. So I really appreciate that. But the young lady that's sponsoring is Lexi Grazanio from Country Financial, along with Rodney Davis. So I'm really grateful. If there are any other people that would like to sponsor this year, I'm going to be reaching out to you. You know who you are. The Breakfast Club has the Breakfast Club. It's called the Breakfast Bar.
And we're going to have that Simple Minds. Is that going to be the walkout theme for all the kids there, Crystal? Breakfast Club, hey, you know what I'm talking about?
I'm going to give
Don't you forget about me.
I'm going to give official shout outs to people. But if you would like to sponsor maybe a player, some players, send some things over that your organization has, please feel free to let me know. All players get parting gifts. I shouldn't say all players. Our seniors get parting gifts. We have giveaways. And I would love for anyone that would like to reach out to me and let me know if you would like to help sponsor this event. Money does not grow on trees, and we do have to pay certain individuals to come to this event. My officials are one, and that's an area that I definitely like to make sure that they're being compensated for their time and their efforts. But I do thank you for allowing me the space, Mike, to get the word out about the triple threat girls basketball senior showcase and middle school rising stars showcase. So I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I'll leave you with this. You mentioned Olivia Antilla. I talked to her about commentating, and if she's going to be coaching one of these games, or
we'll see. I mean, if she'd like
to
commentate, instead of coach, by all means,
maybe we can have her do a little bit of both.
She could do both. Because I mean, if someone needed to coach all 4 games on one side, that's a possibility. But I don't want to ask someone to do that if they don't have to. If we have 8 coaches to coach the 4 games, by all means, that's awesome.
I only brought that up because I asked her about potentially calling some games with me. I'm still working out those details, but she and I, we love it. She's just as big a fan as we are when it comes to promoting the women's game. So I'm
So
sure no
there's
matter
an
what
opportunity
capacity
to
she
do
will,
both.
no matter what capacity, she will be a great fit if she's able to take up this showcase. And I can't wait to catch up with all these people that I haven't seen in over a year. I mean, I met a few familiar faces at Forest Lake AAU prelims, and for me, it's going to be a reunion. I can't wait.
I'm
I
glad
haven't
you
seen
said
you in
that.
over a year.
You're right. You're right, and it's gonna be good to see your face. But you asked about what I enjoy most, and it is a reunion. It's people that you haven't seen in a while, and it's like, wow, their children were toddlers the last time you saw them, and now they're about 4 or 5 years old. So it's just really a homecoming of girls basketball. So our motto is a time for young girls to shine, and we're looking forward to it. So thank you again.
Well, thanks again, Crystal. I know you've got your other job, so we will let you get to that. But thanks for giving us the lowdown and where people can get a hold of you, and follow her pages for updates as we get closer to the 29th and rosters and coaches are put together. I can't wait to see who's on that list. And I hope the rest of you will come check it out at Cretin-Derham Hall, May 29th. And again, we'll have digital copies available for any parents or players interested in getting one. So thanks again for another live edition of Mic'd Up Sports. Until next time, thanks for watching.
Thank you, Mike. Have a blessed day, everybody.